Right now, someone in your life might be manipulating you, and you have no idea it's happening. It's not the stranger online. It's not the scammer calling your phone. It's the person who hugged you yesterday. The one who texts you good morning. The one whose name lights up your screen and makes you smile. Studies show that the average person is manipulated 6 to 10 times a week, and 90% of those moments go completely undetected. Real manipulation doesn't look like manipulation. It looks like love. It looks like loyalty. It looks like that friend who always knows what to say. I'm going to show you the 6 exact tactics manipulators use, the same tactics psychologists have studied for decades. You'll spot the patterns mid-conversation. You'll feel the shift before words are even spoken. You'll learn how to shut these tactics down without becoming cold, paranoid, or losing the soft heart. This isn't about becoming a manipulator. It's about making sure no one ever uses these tricks on you again. Let's begin.
Dark psychology is the deliberate or unconscious use of psychological tactics to control, influence, and exploit other people for personal gain. Normal persuasion respects your free will. Someone tries to convince you with logic, evidence, or genuine emotion, and you make your own choice. Dark psychology bypasses all of that. It targets your fears, your insecurities, your need to be loved, your guilt, and your empathy. It doesn't ask your permission. It rewires your reactions. Most manipulators don't know they're doing it. They learned somewhere along the way, maybe in childhood, maybe through a toxic relationship. You still end up exhausted. You still question your reality. You still wonder why you feel so small around someone who claims to love you.
Psychologists have identified 3 personality types. Together, they're called the dark triad. Narcissists need constant admiration and have almost zero capacity for genuine empathy. Machiavellians see people as chess pieces, useful only as long as they serve a goal. Psychopaths feel little remorse and can hurt others without any emotional aftermath. You don't need to be dating a clinical narcissist to experience manipulation. Your mother might do it. Your best friend might do it. Your boss almost certainly does it. Everyday people use these tactics in subtle ways, often without even realizing it. That's why awareness, not paranoia, is your first and best defense. Tactic 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone systematically makes you doubt your own memory, your perception, or even your sanity. The term comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight, where a husband slowly convinces his wife she's losing her mind. He dims the gaslights in their home, and when she notices, he insists nothing has changed. Bit by bit, her grip on reality erodes until she can't trust anything she sees. That never happened. You're imagining things. You're being too sensitive. I never said that. Notice how each statement attacks not the issue, but you, the person bringing it up. Humans are biologically wired to trust people close to us. Our brain runs a calculation. Either they're lying or I'm wrong. Because we love them, we choose the second option. You start trusting their version of events more than your own memory. You apologize for things you didn't do. You feel crazy for having normal human reactions. After conversations with this person, do you feel more confused than before? Do you find yourself constantly explaining or justifying yourself? Do you save text messages just to prove what was actually said? Do you walk away from arguments feeling like you lost something you can't quite name? Pause for a second. Think of the last argument you had where you walked away feeling crazy. Tactic 2. Love bombing. Love bombing is when someone overwhelms you with affection, attention, and grand gestures early in a relationship. It feels intoxicating. They text good morning and good night without fail. They tell you you're their soulmate within weeks. They show up with gifts. Every other person you've dated, every friend you've had, suddenly feels gray and ordinary in comparison. This isn't love. It's a calculated investment. Love bombing creates rapid emotional dependency. After the love bombing comes the devaluation phase. The person who couldn't stop praising you now criticizes how you eat, how you dress, how you laugh. The endless texts become silence. You're left chasing the person you fell in love with, except that person never really existed. They were a performance designed to hook you. Now that you're hooked, the performance can stop. Real love doesn't behave this way. Real love builds gradually. It doesn't demand exclusivity in week 1. It doesn't make you feel like you owe someone your entire life because they were nice to you. If you find yourself defending the speed of things to your friends, slow down. If it feels like a movie, it probably is one, and every movie has an ending. Tactic 3. Triangulation. Triangulation happens when a manipulator brings a third person into your relationship dynamic to create insecurity, jealousy, or competition. The third person might be real or imaginary. It could be an ex they conveniently keep mentioning, a coworker who supposedly finds them attractive, a family member who keeps comparing you to someone better. Make you feel like you're not enough. You work harder for crumbs. Triangulation also gives the manipulator something they crave: plausible deniability. When you finally bring up your discomfort, they flip it. Why are you so jealous? I was just talking about a friend. You need to work on your insecurity issues. Now you're the problem. The manipulation just got reframed as your character flaw. Does this person repeatedly mention others in ways designed to make you feel small? Does praise about someone else always seem to land like a critique of you? Healthy partners and friends don't keep you on edge. They reassure you. They build you up. Anyone who needs you insecure to feel powerful is not someone who loves you. They need you, which is very different. Tactic 4. Guilt tripping. Guilt is one of the most powerful tools in the manipulation toolkit. People who weaponize it are often the people closest to us. Parents do it. Partners do it. Longtime friends do it. Guilt trippers are masters at making you feel responsible for their emotions, their problems, their happiness. The moment you set a boundary or do something for yourself, they make you pay for it emotionally. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? That's fine. I'll just be alone tonight. No, you go enjoy yourself. I'll figure it out. These are not expressions of feelings. They are tools designed precisely to make you cave, apologize, and abandon whatever you were doing for yourself. Most decent people are wired with empathy. We don't want to hurt others, especially the ones we love. Manipulators exploit this beautiful trait. They make your normal, healthy needs feel like cruelty. They make your boundaries feel like betrayals. Over time, you stop expressing needs at all. You forget what your own life feels like. Here's the cure. You must learn to recognize the difference between your responsibility and theirs. When someone uses guilt to control you, the most loving thing you can do for both of you is refuse to play along. Their disappointment is not your assignment. I am not the manager of someone else's feelings. I am the caretaker of my own life. Tactic 5. Intermittent reinforcement. It works on the exact same psychological principle as slot machines. Casinos make billions because of this principle, and so do toxic partners. Intermittent reinforcement means giving rewards unpredictably. Sometimes the manipulator is warm, loving, present, the most amazing person you've ever known. Sometimes they're cold, distant, irritable, like a stranger wearing your loved one's face. You never know which version is going to walk through the door. That uncertainty becomes addictive. Studies on behavior dating back to B.F. Skinner's research in the 1950s. When it switches randomly between amazing and terrible, you become obsessed with chasing the good moments.
Their brain has been chemically hijacked. Every kind text after days of cold silence releases a flood of dopamine. Every smile after a fight feels like winning the lottery. The manipulator, consciously or not, has become your dealer. Trauma bonding, where pain and pleasure get tangled together until you can't tell them apart. Real partners don't put you on emotional roller coasters to keep you interested. Their love feels boring because it feels safe. And safe is what your nervous system has been begging for this whole time. If you're getting your highs from someone's unpredictability, that's not love. That's a casino with a face.
Tactic 6, DARVO. It's a precise sequence of tactics manipulators use the moment they're confronted with their own bad behavior. First, they deny. Whatever you're accusing them of, it didn't happen. You're imagining it. Then, they attack. Now your character is on trial. You're paranoid, you're insecure, you're toxic for even bringing this up. Finally, they reverse victim and offender. They start crying. They talk about how hurt they are by your accusation. Suddenly, you are apologizing to them for upsetting them with your concern. The original issue has vanished completely. They are the wounded party, and you are the cruel one. DARVO is devastating because it punishes you for setting boundaries entirely. That's not peace. That's surrender dressed up as harmony. The defense against DARVO is staying anchored in facts. When someone tries to flip the script, calmly return to the original issue. Manipulators despise this response. Calm and grounded is their kryptonite. They thrive on emotional chaos. Memorize this line. We are talking about this. We can talk about that next. Why smart people fall for this. Intelligence has nothing to do with it. The smartest, most empathetic people are usually the easiest targets. The first reason is that manipulators choose their victims carefully. They don't pick cold, suspicious, hardened people. Those people don't make good targets. They pick people who are kind. In other words, they pick the best of us. Your goodness is not the reason you got hurt. Your goodness is the reason they chose you. The second reason is something psychologists call the slow boil effect. Manipulation rarely starts at level 10. It starts at level 1 and gradually escalates. You've already accepted 20 smaller versions of behavior you would have rejected on day 1. The third reason is timing. Manipulators have an instinct for vulnerability. They show up after a breakup, during a career setback, when you're lonely, when you're grieving, when you're far from home or family. They appear like saviors at the moment you most need support. They earn your gratitude before you have the strength to question anything. By the time the mask slips, you're already in too deep. You were not stupid. You were not weak. Now that you can see the pattern, you can never be caught the same way again. Understanding dark psychology does not make the world feel scarier. It makes it feel safer. Once you can name these tactics, they lose their power over you. You stop blaming yourself, and you start spotting red flags in weeks instead of years. Remember this, most people are not manipulators. Human beings are flawed, but most are well-intentioned. Your job isn't to suspect everyone. Your job is to recognize patterns, so the few people who do use these tactics can never destroy you again. Awareness is your shield. Softness is your nature. The two can walk together. Healthy relationships don't bring chaos. They bring peace. They don't break you down. They build you up. They respect your boundaries instead of testing them. If you're constantly doubting yourself, walking on eggshells, or performing instead of living, the problem is not you. It's the dynamic. And dynamics can be left behind. You deserve a relationship where you can be fully, completely yourself, without strategy, without performance, where love is given freely, not extracted.
Don't settle for anything less. Stay aware, stay grounded, stay soft, but never small.